What you're about to watch is a completely raw, basically unedited, and basically uncut version of a Michigan fan's reaction to the Alabama Crimson Tide versus Ohio State Buckeyes national championship game. I've got all my post-game thoughts as a Michigan fan. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, so I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, go ahead and subscribe right here. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of the future action. Now, without further ado, here's that reaction you came for. Enjoy. Previously on Intermittent Sports. But if the Buckeyes win the national championship, I'm vowing to you to take this here baseball bat to that there TV, because I like doing stupid things for stupid views. Alright, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about not recording this video. In fact, I talked to my co-host on the streams, Phil, about recording the video, and he said, nah, don't do it. It's not worth your time because Ohio State didn't win. So he basically said, you guys aren't going to show up, you're not going to look at this video. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like I was so fair to Ohio State fans and Ohio State in general after they beat Clemson, and it was a great win, and I gave them props where props are due, that I feel like it's only fair to do this video as well, even when they lose. And the thing about this video is, I'm not going to crack on Ohio State. I'm not. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game. It was an ugly, ugly game. But at the end of the day, isn't it more about what Alabama did right than what Ohio State did wrong? Alabama just absolutely stymied Justin Fields and company. They stopped the Ohio State offense. Yes, Alabama scored 52 points. That's a lot of points. More often than not, you're going to lose when you give up 52 points. And obviously, their offense was phenomenal. But really, when all is said and done, 24 points out of Ohio State, that is not good. The weakness for Alabama was their defense. It was their secondary. It's what Ole Miss took full advantage of. It's what Ohio State needed to take advantage of. It's what Justin Fields needed to capitalize on. And he just didn't have it today. He didn't have the same kind of outing that he did against Clemson, which, you know, obviously the outing against Clemson was amazing. It was top notch. You're not going to see that very often, and it's very hard to do that 2 weeks in a row. I did think they were going to do it. I picked Ohio State to win this game 34-31, and after the first quarter when it was 7-7, I was like, yo, that 34-31 pick ain't looking so bad right now. But it looks bad now at this point. Justin Fields ended up 17 for 33 for 194 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions. Not the way he wanted to go out at all. Didn't really have it today, and really just never got in a rhythm. That's the easiest way to put it. There's really no... I feel like I'm trying to think of something and reach for something of why he didn't have it or where he could have gotten it from. I feel like I'm reaching. He just didn't have it. He didn't have it. His run game got 147 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. Fields himself had 6 carries for 67 yards. Teague had 15 carries for 65 yards. Once Sermon went out, he only had 1 carry for 2 yards. Once Sermon went out, that was a big deal. It really was a big deal. Do I think Ohio State would have won otherwise? No, I don't. I don't think they would have won otherwise. Ohio State was already stretched pretty thin at the running back position. They're not as talented as they usually were. I know Sermon looked good against Clemson, and he's looked good plenty of times during the year. But this wasn't your typical Maurice Clarett, Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins type of backfield. They were kind of like plugging people in, and it was a good feel at the end of the day, but it wasn't what they were actually looking for. I know that, oh man, I know, you're looking at me, I'm a Michigan fan, he's a hater. Okay, Trey Sermon did fine. Yeah, I get it, but when he got hurt today, it really took a toll, and in the past, when somebody got hurt in a situation like this, they had the depth to make up for it. Would it have mattered? No, I don't think it would have mattered. Alabama was just too on point today. Mac Jones was 36 for 45, 464 yards, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think, and I think you could agree with me, that was the biggest absolute factor in this game today. The Ohio State secondary, whether they gave Alabama a cushion, whether they didn't give them a cushion, they either got burnt or gave up too much yardage when they gave a cushion. It was just it wasn't anything they did wrong. Alabama's just that good on offense. They're just that prolific. They're just that solid. It's more of a hand clap and a kudos to the Alabama Crimson Tide offense than it is against the Ohio State defense. At the end of the day, we saw who the better team was. We saw who the best team in the entire nation was today, and it is the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Saban with his 7th national championship, deservingly so. They were pretty good on the run. Oh, I say that, never mind. I mean, it was 38 carries for 157 yards and 4.1 yards per carry. 4.1 is not that great at the college level, so they were okay on the run. It was just Mac Jones through the air. They really, really got him. And DeVonta Smith, Ohio State had no answer for him. He got injured late in the game, obviously, but before that, he had 12 receptions for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think all 3 of those touchdowns, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were all 3 in the first half. And then Metchie, to add to that, had 8 receptions for 81 yards. And Najee Harris had 7 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown. So even without Waddle, who was clearly injured, probably shouldn't have been out there to begin with, going to be a lot of, dirt on Nick Saban on that one. He was not good to go at all. He should not have been on the football field. But I mean, I think it'll be swept under the rug and whatever. I mean, it is what it is. He probably tried to talk his way into it, and he probably got it to where they felt comfortable playing him. But obviously, after that first catch, when he hobbled out of bounds, he was not good to go. Even without him, that wide receiver core was unreal. It was everything we expected. I said 34-31 Ohio State going into the game. I just had a feeling it was going to be more of a defensive game. And again, when it was 7-7 at the end of the first, I was looking pretty good and feeling pretty good about that. But my friend said 49 Alabama. I think he said 35 Ohio State or 34 Ohio State. Either way, he was a little bit closer than me, a lot bit closer than me. He had the right tone for this game, and it is what it is. At the end of the day, if you're an Ohio State fan and you're watching this Michigan channel, I promise I'm not hating on you. What can I possibly hate on? You're whooping our tail year in and year out. You were a 30-point favorite going into the game this season. We would have got mollywopped once again. So that's where we're at right now between Michigan and Ohio State. I'm not hating on you. Respect to the Ohio State Buckeyes. I always am going to show my biggest opponents and my biggest foes respect. I'm not going to sit there hating just to hate or whatever. You guys are a better football team. You're an excellent football team. You just didn't have it today, and a lot of teams, in fact, every team would not have had it today against the Alabama Crimson Tide. This was their year to lose, and they didn't lose. They came through. They won the national championship. It's been a hectic, crazy, wild year. It's been one that I'm so happy to be through with, and just to watch it come to an end today, it felt weird. It's like, man, we really got here. We got here. Should we be proud? I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. Hopefully next year college football will be back to normal. Hopefully we will just work our way through this. This is not a political channel. I just want to get through all this mess, man. I want fans back in the stands. I want college football and pro football and every kind of sport to be the games that they're meant to be. I can't wait to get to that point. Thank you for sticking with us here on Intermittent Sports here this year, where we cover the Michigan Wolverines, Detroit Lions, Detroit Tigers, and Detroit Pistons, as well as the opposing teams that we play. We appreciate your support for a college football season that was wild, to say the least. 2-4 for the Michigan Wolverines. Hey, the Buckeyes have nothing to hang their heads low on. We were 2-4. We didn't even make a bowl game. And we're extending Jim Harbaugh. So until next year, well, not until next year. I got plenty of content coming out until then. But until next year for the college football coverage like this, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you give it a like on this video if you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the college football season and hanging out with us as a whole. Have a great one and have a blessed day.